So how far do you have to be from my house to hack in with that?
It depends on the strength of your modem or router. You know, it could be 50 feet, could be 100 feet, depends. It could be more. It varies.
Okay.
But pretty far away. And it weighs the same, looks the same, feels the same. You would never know that thing is extremely dangerous.
As an ethical hacker, they are literally putting everything on the line to share this with others, because the information they have could change how people approach online security.
Now I want to go over, what are you packing is the #1 ranked competitive ethical hacker in the world. Out of 1.9 million people, you're #1.
Right.
And you also put yourself in harm's way breaking into these exploitation rings and confronting these people in public. So
Right.
my first question, before we get into all the hacking stuff, what are you carrying to protect yourself?
Basically everything. When it comes to wireless devices, credit cards, cell phones, computers, cars, garages, gates, I got a device to break into it.
The risks they are taking by exposing these vulnerabilities could have serious consequences, but it's crucial that others understand what's at stake.
So, what do you got in this bag of tricks?
Let me put away the firearm. So, this is the bag that I carry every day, and it's got so much in it that we could be here for 12 hours, but we'll make it short.
By revealing these details, they are not just offering others a glimpse into the world of cybersecurity, but also warning them about the potential dangers that exist online.
So this, we'll start off simple. This is a Wi-Fi adapter. It looks like your standard Wi-Fi adapter. Supports a thing called monitoring mode. So there's a, your Wi-Fi network. I would use this to send a deauthentication packet to dissociate one of your devices from the network, capture your Wi-Fi, go home, crack the password, and use your network, and then go further into trying to discover stuff on your network. This is a very good card.
Hold on. So how far do you have to be from my house to hack in with that?
It depends on the strength of your modem or router. You know, it could be 50 feet, could be 100 feet, depends. It could be more. It varies.
Okay.
But pretty far away.
All right.
The information they are sharing could be vital in preventing a major cyber attack, which is why they are willing to risk so much to raise awareness.
And this is another one related to Wi-Fi, but it looks like a regular Mint container, right? Well, I programmed what's called an ESP32 inside of it here, and put a hole here. So when I supply this with power, I can connect to it wirelessly and perform some Wi-Fi attacks with this as well, a little bit more undercover. He wouldn't really notice if I had this out at the table.
I think you're a lot more dangerous than that firearm that I just presented you.
This is originally made for electromagnetic fields, but it's good for knowing where a camera's at, microphone's at.
So that's a bug detector.
Yeah,
It'll
for
tell you
other words, yes.
where cameras are. How does it work?
It works by detecting electromagnetic frequencies. So when if I put it up against something, like that supplies power, I don't want to interfere with any of your equipment in here, so.
Oh, okay. So does it like direct you to where it is?
Yeah. So the signal will go up the stronger that it is.
Okay.
So, and in some cases, it'll actually tell me what it is, whether it be Wi-Fi, whether it be a phone or a power line. If I get near an outlet, it would say power line on the screen. But this could be used for many things. I use it, to see if there's bugs and stuff. I'm a little bit nuts when it comes to that. So I don't think I'm being watched, but can't hurt to check.
Their job as an ethical hacker is to shine a light on the hidden vulnerabilities that could be exploited. And by sharing this, they are doing their part to prevent them from being used maliciously.
This looks like something I would use to charge my phone. With a charger, yeah.
And you know, that's, so I have every single charger you can imagine in here,
Okay.
all of them, right? So actually what this is, the reason why I have this little orange thing here is because there is no way I'd ever know that this was a charger. I'm sorry, that this was not a charger without this orange tag, because it is that perfect. So the NSA is selling these for $20,000. And I have a friend, MG, he goes by, who is selling them for, you know, a couple $100 a piece. And I have a bunch of them I can show you. But this one I preloaded with something cool that you'll appreciate.
Okay.
So this is a charger that will work. I could hand this to you and say, hey, here's my charger, man, or replace yours, right? Whatever you got plugged in, I'm sure I have a replacement for that.
Okay.
You bring this home, it could act like a charger forever, but as soon as this plugs in, inside of this tiny little plastic right here, inside of this is a Wi-Fi chip, a mini computer, and this thing emulates a keyboard and can type at 860 characters per second. It is so dangerous, man. It's just, I have so many gadgets with me, and we probably don't have enough time to go through. I mean, I have literally 50 plus gadgets with me, so yeah, I'll show you a couple of them, but like, don't wanna go too crazy. Yeah, that's a European site that you can buy it from.
Yeah, right there. So it's complete wireless pen testing, payload platform invisibility embed inside a cable. Originally a clandestine NSA tool costing over $20,000. Now available to everyone. $200.
Yeah, there's a name for it too. I think it was, I can't remember the exact name the NSA was calling it, but you could see the actual government document with the cost for exactly the same thing.
The more they dig into the world of hacking, the clearer it becomes. The average person is walking into a minefield every time they go online, and they can't stand by without speaking out.
So now what does this do?
So I'm going to show you what it does, but it can monitor your keystrokes. So you can put this in line in between your
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can put this in line in between your keyboard and your computer. I could put this in straight into your phone. I could put this, I can type keys at, like I said, at 860 words per second. I can leave it there and come back later. This thing has its own Wi-Fi network that I connect to inside of this. And then if you were to, like, you can match this up to yours and see it's absolutely identical.
100% same thing.
Yeah, so if you didn't have that little orange thing on there, you'd easily lose that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
is the one you have, is that the new design, or is that the...
I couldn't even tell you. This is just...
Well, I just meant, like, is it the woven one, or
this
is that
is the one that's the Apple one. This is actual Apple.
Okay, so let me show you the Apple one while my computer is booting. I don't know why it's not booted up yet. I have so many of them. He gave me a ton. Yeah, here, look at this one. That is not an Apple charger.
This is the same thing as the other one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so let's just say you give this to somebody you're spying on, okay? They put it to charge. You're now seeing who I'm texting, what I'm doing, videos I'm playing, everything I'm doing, you're seeing all of it.
Not texting, because I can't, but on the computer, yes. Yeah, on the phone, I'm able to inject keystrokes into the phone. Like, let's say I want to install a virus on your Android or something. I could do that with that device, but I can't tell what you're typing. On your computer, I can tell what you're typing. So these things are wild.
$200.
Yeah, per cable, you know.
Who buys them? Who uses them?
So they're intended for penetration testers like myself to do the right thing. But, you know, threat actors can buy them as well. All right, so let's get this thing.
They're intended for penetration tests that you do for companies.
Yes.
By sharing these insights, they are not only helping to defend against potential attacks, but also showing others how hackers operate, enabling them to stay one step ahead.
So, make sure everything's plugged in. We're not on any... Yeah, there's no internet here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, and you can see here that without this orange thing I have on here just so I don't lose it with my actual charger.
Yep.
But I don't have to have that on here. I just don't wanna lose it. So I'm gonna plug this into USB-C, which, you know, you can pick whatever one you want. That's plugged into USB-C. This side, I'm not gonna connect to anything. I could charge my phone with it. I could do whatever I want with it, but what I'm gonna do is on my phone, I'm going to go to Wi-Fi. I'm going to click OMG. Now I just created a network from this cable that's plugged in. It's not plugged in.
We don't have an OMG network here.
No.
Okay.
No, and this is not plugged into anything.
Okay.
So this is creating a Wi-Fi network.
Yep.
I'm going to go to it in my browser. And then I have an interface here that I can connect with. So I'm going to go in the file menu. I'm going to load payload 1. There we go. All right, so ready? Now I'm going to hit build and run, which I could be very far away from the computer. This is just showing an example of it. See how fast that's typing?
What's it doing?
It's typing PBD
Get outta
podcast and
here.
0 Day was here.
Get out of
So that could have been anything.
Yeah.
That could have been a malicious command. That could have been a virus that it downloaded. That could have been anything that I wanted it to be. And I have now remote control over this cable that if I plug right into my phone, watch, plug it into my phone,
charges.
charging. You would have no idea that this implant is in your house.
Just because there's a Wi-Fi in here?
And more. There's more in there. I'm just simplifying it.
So this is like a small little computer.
Yeah. Yeah, and it weighs the same, looks the same, feels the same. You would never know that thing is extremely dangerous.
Ethical hackers use their skills to protect and defend against cyber threats, while unethical hackers exploit vulnerabilities for personal gain or to cause harm, often putting innocent people at risk.
And so this is used for an ethical person to do a penetration test on a company. What does an unethical hacker do with that tool right there?
An unethical hacker can use this tool to steal people's credentials, to monitor and to spy on people, to look through your webcam, to try to get access to your network, to your phone, they're going to do it for they're bad things. An ethical hacker is going to try to access your computer, to access other computers, to try to take over your company, so that you can show where the weaknesses are, so you can make it better. So it's essentially the same concepts though. But one has a good goal in mind, the other one has, screwing someone over in mind. So the way that I would recommend protecting yourself from this would be with what's called a data blocker, right? So a data blocker is something like this. I'll show you. So there's two things here I want to show you. So you can buy a data blocker for about $5 on Amazon. You can plug any USB device into it, and it's only going to limit it to charging, so that even if it is a malicious cable, it can't be abused. This is funny. So this was kind of a joke that my friend, he made this, but it's a product he sells. It's a data blocker called the Unblocker that blocks these attacks, but also has payloads in it to do the same thing. So it's a USB data blocker and looks just like one, but also does what you just saw. It allows you to inject wireless keystrokes and monitor keys, etc.
So that is for what? That is for somebody to protect themselves against what somebody could do then?
Yeah.
And that's how much? $5?
No, this one's like $150.
That's $150.
Yeah, this is.
Who needs that?
I mean, I don't think you need it. I think it's safer to use a real data blocker, pay $5, $10 on Amazon for one. This one's more of just a joke. Like, here's a data blocker that I'll swap yours out with, and then I can inject payloads through your data blocker.
Is that like an RFID or no? That's different.
No, it's different. I'll show you that in a second, actually. And this is the malicious cable detector, which is his other thing. And I feel like I'm promoting the crap out of him right now, and I'm trying.
I'm sure he's appreciating. I'm sure he's getting a lot of business right now.
Well, I hope so. But he's such a nice guy. He was a help desk guy that ended up doing extremely cool things in the hacking world. But this is a malicious cable detector that he also sells, that if you want to be extra overboard, you can buy, plug it into this, and it'll tell you if it's a malicious cable or not.
This is the kind of knowledge that has the power to completely alter how you view online security, revealing the hidden dangers lurking just beneath the surface.
But Screen Crab, this one's an interesting one. So the cameras aren't set up in a way for me to demonstrate it, but check this out. So you can probably, oh gosh, it's in there. Okay, so this device, if you see on one side, it has USB-C.
Yep.
Which you could do USB-C to USB-A, which is just this little square USB. And then HDMI, and then it also has a little antenna.
Okay.
Right? You don't need the antenna, It also has one other thing here for an SD card, which you can fit right here with, you can put 2 terabytes in this thing, or a terabyte, a lot of storage. Put your HDMI in, put your power in. Every TV, every monitor, for the most part, is going to have a USB port. So get a small USB port, a small HDMI, put this in the back of a computer screen or the back of a computer desktop, and you could even put a little post-it note saying like HDMI enhancer or do not remove or IT only, like something that would scare somebody from unplugging it. And this thing can wirelessly, from quite some distance, transmit with almost no delay, in high quality, what's going on the screen. And if you're not within proximity, let's say you go out of the proximity of this antenna, it stores all of that footage on the SD card, which could be, from what I was actually told by a friend, years, depending on the interval of how often it's taking snapshots. So check behind your screens, check behind your computers, look for a device like this, which is like a man-in-the-middle type of device that is capturing your screen. And, there's so much more out there to be scared of, but this is something that you could easily check. If it's there, unplug it and throw it in the trash, call the police, do whatever you got to do.
So that's gonna record everything you're doing on your screen.
Yes, in high quality too.
And how much is that?
I don't know.
What's the most expensive tool he's got that he's selling? Does he have something?
These are all different people. Yeah, these are all different.
What's the most expensive tool out of all these tools that you know? The
most expensive one I have with me right now is this one, because it's just enterprise.
$800. But what else? What's something that's astronomical, but what it does is ridiculous?
I would say, I can't give you all the specifics on how it works, but the Cellbrite, which is how some phones are dumped. They're very expensive. Like dumped for all the data that's on them, and they're used usually for and
If a hacker were to successfully breach an airplane's security, they could gain access to critical systems such as navigation, communication, and even autopilot controls, effectively taking over the aircraft and putting the safety of everyone on board at great risk.
One of the things you showed a tool was that you can intercept where planes are going and the traffic. And you said that's legal. You can do that, right? However, you said you also have the ability to influence it, which that's illegal, right?
Transmitting on that ADS-B is illegal.
Illegal, okay. So we saw 3 months ago, or a couple months ago, President Trump attempt on him. So July 13th attempt on the president. They missed him half an inch away. We're having a different conversation today on, who's running for president on the conservative side. We know what happened on the left. It could have stayed Joe Biden, but we would know who's going to be running on the conservative side. He's had to have emergency landings being made. I think he had to do one, Rob, if I'm not mistaken. I think even J.D. Vance had to do one last week, okay? Is there tools that if somebody was, really wanting to do something to manipulate with a plane and a Boeing plane, is there tools to be able to hack into planes or no?
Yeah, well, I mean, these planes are very old. I'm not saying that one device that I've showed online is capable of redirecting a Boeing 757 or whatever, but, I wouldn't play around either. I wouldn't be transmitting radio while I'm in a plane trying to mess with the pilot's controls or their radio. But yeah, it would be unreasonable to think that it's not a possibility with think of how old these airplanes are that are flying around. If you look at the average age of just even an American, like name the airline other than Spirit and Frontier, because they got brand new planes for whatever reason. These planes are 20 plus years old.
Well, his plane is 33 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
first flight is 91.
Of course, technology can be upgraded. So who knows what the status is?
When it comes down to plane, it's slightly different because what you're doing is upgrading the engine. Sometimes the engines cost $750,000 to $1.5 million, depending on the size of the plane, on what it is. Some can go even higher. And then on the inside, you just want to fix up the place. It's like rebuilding a house, right? And then the tube is the tube. It's not like you need to do anything with the tube, and then tires, just like cars, tires, you can adjust them. But technology is different. If the board is the same technology as it was 91, now you got a problem there, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, then how about we flip it, okay? Let's say Trump is your uncle. You love the guy, okay? And you want to do anything because you have a good relationship with the guy. You want to protect him. You got all these tools you got access to. what would you do to make sure nothing, to minimize the level of threats that he's going to have?
I would probably obviously vet the people around him. Like if you mean him being on a plane.
Equipment-wise, I'm talking purely equipment-wise on a plane.
On a plane, I mean, you can't. There's not too much that you can do other than monitor. Like if I could monitor for people trying to mess with things, but I can't.
So you could monitor somebody trying to hack into the plane.
Depending on if it's wireless. If it's not wireless, then no. I mean, I would have to have access to the way to the actual plane itself and know how the plane works. And I don't know how Boeing works electronically for me to determine if somebody was hacking it or not.